Season's greetings and welcome to Trigger Talk, brought to you by The Real Shot here in Appleton. Coming to you live from the Fix Studios, located here in Appleton, Wisconsin as well. Glad to have you with us. Got a great show planned for you today. I'm Mark Druick. This is Steve, the gun guy, Gildenvan. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Same here, yeah. I'm a Christmas junkie. I've always been a Christmas junkie, and This is my time of year to enjoy myself. That's kind of what we're going to be doing today.
Yes, we are. Before we get started, though, obviously Christmas to both of us means different things, and I think both of us now who have children and grandchildren, Christmas brings on a whole different meaning, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's time to spoil the hell out of the kids.
Feed them Hershey bars and Mountain Dew and let the parents deal with them, right?
That's right.
But, yeah, here we are. We're just a couple of days away from Christmas. What an exciting time of the year. And today is kind of a Christmas present to ourselves, and Steve has put this together. We're going to have a lot of laughs. We're going to have some fun today. And we're going to be talking about firearm terminology notes, or firearm vocabulary, if you will. And you and I have had just hours of laughs and poking fun at all these things, particularly for you, Steve. You've been in the gun business a really long time, and actually you are responsible for teaching me whatever it is that I know and getting me started and acclimated into the firearms. Yeah, it's all your fault. But there's all these things that we deal with, and terminology and how people address things and how we address things, and I think it's going to be a great topic for today.
Misconceptions, misunderstandings, just flat out ignorance.
Yep.
I don't want anybody to take any of this too much to heart. This is going to be a little bit of venting. It's good-hearted venting, the sort of behind-the-scenes stuff we talk about all the time.
Yeah, it's all in fun. We're not disrespecting anybody or anything.
Maybe
it's
a little
all
bit.
About fun. Okay, maybe a little. Maybe a little bit.
I wanted to call this. I just wanted to call this show. It's not a clip. It's not a clip. Magazine versus clip. Let's start there. Okay, if it's something you can hold in your hand, it's got a spring in it, and it feeds ammunition into the firearm, it's not a clip. It's a magazine. Clips actually exist, but they do not have a built-in feed mechanism. You can use a clip to insert ammunition into a firearm, but you're actually inserting the clip into the magazine. Mm-hmm. An internal magazine. We can go on and on and on forever about all the technical details, but for all practical purposes, if you got an automatic pistol and you put an ammunition in this thing before you put it in the gun, it's not a clip. It's a magazine. That's one sure way to get off on the wrong start with some of us.
Yeah. Now, what did you say to me the other day? A clip feeds a magazine feeds a gun?
Right. You can use a clip to feed ammunition into the magazine. The magazine's actually feeding the gun. Now, magazine. Okay, good example of an actual clip. The M1 Garand.
Yes.
Actually uses a clip. It's an on-block clip. EN space BLOC. It's an on-block clip. Holds 8 rounds together. You put that into the magazine in the gun. The magazine takes ammo out of the clip and feeds it into the action of the gun.
Yep.
Another good example: moon clips or half moon clips that you use to load into revolvers.
Okay.
Technically, on a revolver, the cylinder is a magazine. Now, it doesn't generally get referred to as that. It's just called the cylinder, but technically, that is the magazine. That's what's holding the ammunition for the gun. You use the clip to load the magazine. Okay. For the most part, again, back to if you got that thing in your hand that you always lose, or you drop on the ground, or you never have enough of, you can't find your spare one, that's a magazine.
I was opening up the computer a while back, and there's a meme on there. And did you put that on there? I open it up, I would go, okay, well, Steve's made it evident.
Sean Bean looking all disgusted. Yeah, it's not a magazine. It's not a clip, it's a magazine.
And it's when you look at that, it's like, okay, it's but a lot of people do refer to it as a clip. We hear that more often than a magazine, and I've been in that situation too, where I've said to somebody, It's called a magazine.
You
Yeah,
know where
clip.
that actually stems from, as far as everybody's been able to determine, the general misuse of the word clip comes to us from veterans returning from World War II, where they were loading M1 Garands.
Okay.
And they were using clips. That is what they were using. And they came back and they started referring to everything that held ammunition to go into a gun as clips. Okay. So they transferred correct terminology into incorrect usage. Okay.
There you go.
Let's move on.
Okay.
All right. Now I deal with the customer service part of things here.
Yes.
And we get guys in who are trying to explain jams. My gun's jamming. Okay, what's going on? And I get, well, it's not ejecting. Okay, well, there's actually two things going on I have to ask. And when I ask, is it not extracting or not ejecting, I get that blink, blink. I'm not sure what the difference is. Really simple. When your action is cycling, whether it's a pump, bolt, auto, whatever, when the bolt is dragging the casing out of the chamber, that's extraction. Okay, at that point, some force is going to push that empty casing out and away from the gun. That's ejection. Extraction and ejection, two different things. And if you're trying to explain to somebody that you've got a problem going on, it's really important that you know the difference between the two.
Sure.
One thing that is not happening at all in this is rejection. What's wrong with your gun?
Is not rejecting.
It's not rejecting. Okay, we'll just leave that one where it is.
So, would it be more on the semi-autos? Be more of an ejection, or would it be an extraction?
Well, again, it doesn't make any difference whether we're talking about a pump or an auto or whatever. There's issues. For instance, if you have a broken extractor, you have a lot of crud damage to the chamber that's not allowing the casing to leave the chamber itself. That's an extraction issue. It may be extracting just fine, but the casing is getting hung up in the ejection port. The reason it's called the ejection port, it's an ejection matter. You can have problems that kind of cross over. You can have ejection stoppages that are caused by a delay in the extraction. And again, that's the whole timing. And that's when in semi-autos specifically, or more often, you can have really complicated issues like that because the ejection it's an ejection stoppage, but it's caused by extraction problems.
Okay. All right. Well, good. That's important to understand. I think that's why we're doing this here. We're going to poke fun at it and we're going to talk about it a little bit.
We are.
But we're also here to educate, and get people a little bit more understanding about their firearms. And I think that will be topics in shows to come when we talk about things, because I think there's a lot of folks out there that don't break their firearms out until maybe deer season or duck season or whatever. They bring it to you and need to have it clean because something's not functioning properly. And I think along the line here, teaching some of folks some of those little simple things, to help them better understand their firearm a little bit more. That preventative maintenance, so to speak, because last thing you want to have happen is you're out in the woods, you haven't touched your gun for a year and it's all gummed up or it's got something stuck in it. And, now here you are not being able to get something fixed, with a couple days to go in the season. So I've always been one of those guys that is always, making sure everything's clean and working properly. And if it's something I can't do, I know you've cleaned a few of my guns, and that makes a huge difference.
It does. Proper maintenance, you bet it does. And actually, there's a few other things we'll get to it here in a little bit. I want to do a little thing about ammunition. This is, again, a terminology issue. It's extraction versus ejection. Okay, revolvers and pistols and handguns.
There we go.
Now, if you according to the federal government, and when we fill out a background check form, we are required to make a note on there. When we get the gun in, we have to log it into our system. Is it a shotgun? Is it a rifle? Is it a revolver? Or is it a pistol?
Right.
Okay, I've always had a problem with this because as far as I'm concerned, a revolver is a pistol. Okay, we'll give everyone a moment here to start complaining. And I actually had, I don't know if you remember, I don't mention any names. We had a very good customer back in the Gander Mountain days. He came in one day, and this is back when we had the mandatory 2-day waiting period.
Oh, okay.
And he came in, he said, okay, I'm here to pick that. I said, oh, you're here to pick up your pistol? He said, well, no, it's a revolver. I said, well, revolver is a pistol. And he said, and he'd been in the Marine Corps. He said, no, we were taught that, if it's a revolver or a pistol is an auto. And really, then how come the word pistol predates the advent of the development of the auto-loading action? And he went, it's just that simple. As far as I'm concerned, the words pistol and handgun are totally interchangeable, synonymous. If you prefer to use the I guess more common or the governmental approach to it, revolver and pistol separate, that's fine. But as far as I'm concerned, if they were using the word pistol before the first, was probably the Bergman was the first auto loading design.
Right. So it's basically everything is a pistol. There's the autos and there's the revolver.
What about single shot?
Single shot.
Single shot, bolt action, break action. What are those?
I don't know. You tell me.
They're all pistols.
All pistols. So we've kind of determined that now. But those of us who work with the forms, you look at it. Okay,
we have to enter.
What they're asking us to. So, okay, we can do
that. Now, which brings us to: is it an automatic, or is it a semi-automatic, or is it an auto loader? Now, again, we're talking about common usage, common accepted, authoritative usage, and automatic is select fire or fully automatic. Mm-hmm. Right. Automatic means it's automatic. So they came out with semi-automatic to cover the gun that'll fire automatically, but only one shot per pull of the trigger.
Okay.
I prefer the term autoloader, because it really, what you're describing here is something, that's exactly what's happening. When you pull the trigger, it fires one round, and then it loads itself. Mm-hmm. I've always preferred the term autoloader because it gets away from that crossover confusion between automatic and semi-automatic.
Yeah, good. Automatic is you just pull the trigger and keep shooting. The semi-autos, you have to pull the trigger.
Or autoloader. Yeah, you're one trigger pull per round.
So auto loader pretty much just simplifies.
I think so. Yeah.
But
again, that's a personal use of the term. I think they used to use the word auto loader a lot more than they do these days.
Yes. Yeah. It sure seems that way. But it's I still to this day get people looking. Yeah, I'm looking for an auto. Automatic.
Okay. No, the car lot's 2 blocks down.
Yep. Right. Again, this is all stuff that, those of us who've been around the firearms industry for a while understand this. And all we're trying to do is poke fun,
have fun.
Have fun. And again, let people know that, there's some particular vocabulary that goes along with that. So,
yep. Okay, now this strikes a little bit closer to home, simply because there's a certain amount of politics involved, and that is the AR thing. Mm-hmm. Okay,
sure.
A semi-automatic, auto-loading, AR platform 5.56, 223, 308, what have you. Please, unless you have a very, very expensive gun that you purchased after a great deal of government interference, it is not an assault rifle. An assault rifle is select fire gun. That's what the U.S. military uses, what some law enforcement agents use. It's got to have the fun mode on the selector switch. Okay, to be an assault rifle. AR does not mean assault rifle. It does not mean automatic rifle. AR goes back to the original company that's first manufactured the M16, the AR-15, and that is Armalite. AR stands for Armalite rifle. Okay.
Good one.
Now the other term that is in common usage, and I think it's, I don't know, it's almost sidestepping the issue and trying to sugarcoat the matter, is the term modern sporting rifle. Okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, anything that's been developed in the last 50 years is modern. But it is a term that the industry likes to use. I'm fine with that. MSR or AR, either one is fine. But please don't come in and ask what we have in assault rifles. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's one's kind of been, tossed around quite a bit. In some of our current situations and stuff like that, people like to put that negative connotation along with that. So.
Right. Or, there's the negative connotation, or there's the badass connotation. The tactical Timmy comes in here and wants himself an assault rifle. A little respect for the jargon, please.
Yeah. Without a doubt. That's some good stuff there.
Okay, now let's get specifically into ammunition.
Ah.
Okay.
Ammo.
Yeah, how many bullets go in the clip? Okay.
I knew that was coming.
I'm going to say 99.9% of our viewers know it's not a bullet that you're putting in the gun. The bullet's what's coming out of the barrel. Okay.
Perfect.
It's the projectile. The cartridge itself, and if you've got a military background, you may prefer to refer to it as a round. That's acceptable. But it's a cartridge. The cartridge contains the primer, the casing, the powder, the bullet, all in one. That unit is a cartridge. Unless it's for a shotgun. Now, in Europe, I understand that they use the term cartridge to refer to shot shells as well.
Okay.
Okay, now, shot shell or shotgun shell. It's possible to have a shot shell for a rifle or a handgun.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Those are not shotgun shells. Those are shot shells. The shell that you have for your shotgun is a shotgun shell, but you can also refer to it simply as like a 12-gauge shot shell. That's fine. As a matter of fact, if you look at the box, you're actually reading the boxes, and we're going to get to that in a minute, too.
Yeah.
You're actually looking at what it says on the box. Most shotgun shell boxes are going to say shot shells.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you can get shotgun shells or shot shells in 22 rimfire. All right? Now, we have that confusion. If you have a handgun that shoots 22 ammunition, chances are it's not 22 long. It's 22 long rifle. That's the actual name of the cartridge. It doesn't make any difference that you're not shooting it out of a rifle. The name of the cartridge is 22 long rifle. 22 long is actually an older cartridge. It's still manufactured. It's a 22 long rifle casing, but using the bullet from a 22 short, which is a shorter casing.
Okay.
Okay, so those are the three that will actually all fit in the 22 long rifle chamber. May not cycle properly in your 22 long rifle firearm, but it will fit in the chamber and fires. Okay.
Okay. Now, so at any single shot, you could put either one of those in.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Then there's the confusion with the 22 Magnum. Okay. Often referred to as 22 Magnum, 22 Mag. The technical term is 22 Winchester Magnum Rimfire, WMR. That will not fit in a 22 long rifle casing or chamber. But there's a certain number of people, a certain group of people I would get in here all the time. They'll say they want 22 long when what they mean is they want the 22 Magnum. They don't want the short one, the standard 22 long rifle. They want the long one, the 22 Magnum, which leads to more confusion. So really, 22 short, 22 long rifle, all will work in a 22 long rifle chamber. 22 Magnum, the gun needs to be marked WMR or 22 Mag, something like that.
Okay.
Also, 22 Magnum bullets are generally jacketed, not plated. 22 Magnum bullets. There's Winchester Dynapoint is a plated 22 Magnum, but for the most part, they're all going to be a jacketed bullet, just like the bullet jacket on a centerfire rifle, centerfire handgun round. 22 rimfire ammunition, for the most part, the short, long, and long rifle is not jacketed. It's never been jacketed. They can't really produce it in a jacketed round. So what you got is really a lot of options, but they're going to fall into one of two categories. They're either plated or coated. Now, plating, when you have that yellow or orange tip on your 22 long rifle, okay, that is plating. The plating process, for the most part, actually deteriorates the accuracy potential of that ammunition. That's why you'll find real high-grade match ammunition for the 22 is never plated. It's always coated. It's coated in proprietary dry coatings. Basically, it's a wax.
Okay. Very good information. That kind of lays it all out, because we hear it all the time. I'm looking for 22s. Which one? Well,
yep.
I'm looking for a 22 long rifle.
And they'll look at the bullet and say, no, I need the yellow one. They don't say why they need it. They just think they need it. It's generally going to be higher velocity ammunition. Okay, that's suitable for a small game, but let's face it, you take a standard velocity 22 long rifle, a coated 22 long rifle target bullet, and you shoot a squirrel in the head, it's going to be a freaking dead squirrel.
Right.
Which would be an awesome name for a rock band.
Dead squirrels.
The freaking dead squirrel.
The freaking dead squirrels. Now, and it could be as simple as just looking what's on the barrel of the gun.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean, the gun is going to say. I have seen some instances. Usually, it's actually military, old military surplus stuff that didn't have the not marked with any sort of specification. But for the most part, the gun's got to be marked with the caliber. It's going to be on the barrel usually. So that leads to the next issue. The guy who comes in, or I prefer this, it's even greater, the guy who sends his wife in. And go down to the real shot and get me some 7mm ammo, 7mm bullets. I need 7mm bullets. Okay. 300 is another one. For the most part, those are the worst offenders, although we have sold 357 SIG ammo to somebody who thought they were buying 357 Magnum. We have sold 38 Smith & Wesson ammo to people who thought they were buying 38 Special. It says the name of the round on the gun. It's one of my favorite. It's a great example. A guy comes in and says, I'm looking for some 300 ammo. I said, okay, well, what kind of 300 is it? It's Savage. It's a Savage. Oh, okay. Well, there's 300 Savage is an actual cartridge. I've actually got some on the shelf out there right now.
Sure.
Okay. Turns out the guy had a Savage rifle chambered for 300 Winchester mag. 2 rounds definitely not interchangeable.
And what we're trying to, explain here is that there are so many things that people think is what it means, but it really isn't. And, in most cases, too, if you send somebody other than yourself or you're not sure and you buy the ammunition, including ourselves, there's no return on ammunition.
Nope.
So it's imperative that you understand 300 Winchester, 300 Blackout, 300 Savage. There's all these things in there.
300 Weatherby, 300 short action Ultra Max.
Yeah, the list goes on.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of being a gun owner, and I mean no disrespect, is know what you're shooting.
Yeah. You need, you need to know what's supposed to go in the gun. I mean, that's the most basic level. How does the safety work, and what kind of ammunition do I need?
Right. All you guys out there who send your wives in to pick up the ammo for you, take a picture of it and text it to them saying, this is what I'm looking for. It'll give you the caliber, give you the grain weight, all those things so that, guys like Steve and other guys working in the gun department would be able to make sure you get as closely matched ammunition as that. Because I know sometimes it's difficult for those ladies when they come in and they don't have a clue. And we're trying to ask the questions but they just don't know. So help them out and take a picture of it or write it down so we can make sure we get the right stuff for you.
Yeah, if you've ever had your wife roll her eyes at you, I'll imagine her doing that same thing to me because I don't understand what she doesn't understand. So.
And there's a little slight sound that goes along with the eye rolling too, don't you think?
Yes.
It's very faint and subtle, but it's there.
Better yet, come on in. Pick up your own ammunition. Take a look at what else we got to sell while you're here.
Yeah, take a look at some of the other shotguns and all the other fishing stuff and hunting stuff that we have going on here. So, I mean, anything else in those? I know you got 7mm. You got... Yeah,
well,
you got that right here on our list here. Just
voice in my head, and I thought for a second it was one of the regular voices, but it's actually one of our producers talking about 9mm, and that's the last thing I had on my list here. It's right there, regular 9mm. Ammo boxes are going to be marked with the proper name of the cartridge.
Yes.
Okay. 95% of the 9mm ammo that is sold here in this country is going to be sold under the name 9mm Luger. Okay, why do they call it 9mm Luger? Because that's the official name. There's actually a governing body who establishes all the specifications for this ammo so that you build this gun, chambered for this round, this ammunition from this manufacturer is going to blow your damn gun up.
Right.
Okay. They call that round 9mm Luger. Now, the NATO refers to it as the 9x19 NATO. I don't believe that there is significant difference in the pressure ratings between the two cartridges, that there's any case of non-interchangeability. They are dimensionally identical. However, and it comes back around to the guy who comes in, he's looking, this is 9mm Luger or 9mm NATO or 9x19, and he wants to know what's the difference between that and regular 9mm. Regular 9mm is not around. I looked and looked and looked and can't find any specifications for regular 9mm. 9mm, 300, 7mm, 38, and so on and so on. Those are all partial cartridge names because there's a lot of 9mm ammo in the world. There is most of it is 9mm Luger ammo, but there are other 9mm rounds, and you don't want to confuse them. Mm-hmm. Okay, so can bring us all the way back around to what we said. Know what your gun shoots. It should, if it's a brand new gun chambered for a 9mm round in this country, I can just about guarantee it's 9mm Luger. But if you're not sure, check with the manufacturer. Okay?
Yeah. Very, very dangerous and, yeah.
Well, and plus, if you know that stuff, it can save some time at the gun counter.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
We don't mind answering questions. We really, really don't mind answering questions. But these are some questions that we answer a lot.
Yeah. A lot.
Okay. Now, and then it comes down to pronunciation. This comes up, and I'm definitely going to step on some toes on this one.
That's okay.
Okay, pronunciation. It's carbine. Okay, in the United States, it is carbine. I don't know if there's some video games out there that pronounce it carbine. Carbine is actually generally accepted as being the British pronunciation, but the British also spell color with a U in there somewhere, favor with a U. In the U.S., the correct pronunciation is carbine. If you are a carbine guy and you insist on being a carbine guy for the rest of your life, I'm not going to get in a fist fight with you at the gun counter. Okay?
Yeah, we're going to politely move on.
This is where I get to say my bit about my beliefs. Okay, another pronunciation. Loophole. Loophole scopes, Loophole optics. It's not Leopold. It's Loophole. Okay, that's right from the top. Same as Hornady. There is one A in Hornady, and it is not in front of the Y. I have heard Hornaday so much over the years, and you look at it and you just read it. Hornady. Hornady. Steve Hornady says that's how it's pronounced.
Then that's it.
Then that's it. Yeah, there's no argument on that one. And then, of course, another one is the famous Browning semi-automatic rifle, the BAR. Okay, it is pronounced BAR. It stands for Browning Automatic Rifle. It is not a bar. A bar is that much soap.
Or a place to
sit and have a beer.
Relieve stress.
That's right.
And celebrate Christmas.
It's a BAR.
Right. BAR. Bar.
You think we've pissed enough people off?
Oh, yeah, you kind of hope so. You know,
this is
very light.
This is all very fun.
Yeah, it's all.
I don't know.
They're talking to us through our headphones in the studio. The production guys, they have questions as well.
They have questions, and I that one's not come up for me. The Steyr AUG, I've always pronounced it the AUG.
Okay.
Because that's the first time. Yeah, actually, the first time I heard that Steyr sales rep many years ago when that gun was brand new.
Yeah.
It was way advanced, way ahead of its time back in the 70s. And I was working in a shop, and the Steyr rep came in and said, "Look at this," and he pronounced it AUG.
All right. Well, then we're going to leave it at that, and maybe if somebody wants to correct us, they can give us a call at the store, and we would be happy to accept that and say something out there. We don't know everything, but you know a lot more than me.
Not everything.
Yeah, well,
don't tell my wife I said that.
That's the beauty of being a little bit older. There's a lot of negatives that go with it, but there are some positives too. You know, you learn a few things, you experience a few things, and it gives you some credibility anyway. But no, there's always those things. I don't care what industry you're in, you know, that you just really kind of set you off. And you go into the back and you go, you know.
Yeah. You were customer service. You've been in customer service your whole life.
Yes.
And there should be a soundproof room in the back of every shop that deals with customer service.
There is
where you can go and scream.
Yeah, there's one back there, but we need to build the walls up a little bit more, put a little more insulation in there. But yeah, it's there's always those things that. Can you tell me what happened? Well, I don't know what happened. Well, how about if I tell you what happened?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Okay.
We've been around.
We know.
We know.
You're talking about crossbows. I know you are.
Oh, yeah. You know,
when the thing comes in more than a dozen pieces.
Yes.
And guy goes, I don't know what happened. It just
I don't know.
Came out of the case like this.
And I just like you, I have heard everything. And you know, the thing of it is that it's important for me to know because it helps with the diagnostic aspect. I don't want to put something in the press that may have been at risk that might cause something to happen.
Yep.
You know, not unlike you dealing with firearms and certain things, and you know, there's safety issues and so on. But you know, again, it's all going to go down to, you know, don't be afraid, you know, to tell us what happened.
No,
we're okay with that. It actually helps me,
right?
You know, understand exactly how I need to proceed without, you know, taking more time to take it all apart and then have to determine that as well. So again, it just goes back to we want to provide you with the best customer service, and by doing that, we need your help to. You know, help us understand what went wrong. And I know you've got some things that you see on your end as well.
All the time.
Yep. There's always
all
something.
The time. I don't know what happened.
Okay. What about?
We've about run this down, haven't we?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think I like what you put on the list here: see-through scope mounts and over scoping.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of what.
That's one of my personal pet peeves is see-through scope mounts. If you look at what all true riflemen, the guys who live and studied the rifle, the guys who are professional or semi-professional big game hunters, big game writers, long-range competition shooters. They don't use see-through scope mounts because see-through scope mounts suck.
They do.
They really do. They're weak. They make you mount the scope way above the bore axis, so you got to lift your head up off the stock to see through it. So you can't rapid sight acquisition, rapid target acquisition with see-through scope mounts is darn near impossible. Meanwhile, down below through that little bitty window, you've got open sights that are virtually impossible to pick up. Okay, so 2 reasons people give for using see-through scope mounts. Okay. One is in case the scope breaks. If you are that concerned about your scope breaking, get a better scope because modern quality scopes don't cost that much. And for the most part, they're more rugged than the open sights are. The other reason is in case I get I have to take a fast shot at a close range target. Okay. It's easier, faster to use a properly mounted scope than it is open sight seen through that little window you've got underneath your scope where the objective lens of the scope is partially blocking it, and I've never seen a situation where see-through scope mounts actually increase the speed of target acquisition. It always slows it down. One of the problems people have with that is they are over-scoping their rifles. You don't need a 4 to 12 power scope on your deer shotgun. You really don't. Go down in magnification. This is not a spotting scope. This is not a binocular that you're using to study game. It's a sighting device. Keep the magnification down reasonable. Keep the adjustability, the adjustable magnification. Keep it turned down. Rule of thumb is if you need the magnification turned up, you're going to have time to turn it up. If you need it down, chances are you need it down now, so leave it there to start with. Make sure the scope is mounted properly and adjusted properly for your eye relief. And then practice bringing that gun up, keeping your eye on target. Don't bring the gun up, block your vision with it, so you have to come back down and find that scope and now start searching for the animal again. Okay, keep your eye on the target, bring the gun up until the scope is in front of your eye. With the magnification turned down, that is as fast as you can possibly do it because the scope is doing part of the focus work for you. It's putting the reticle on the same focal plane as the target. You don't have to ask your eye to focus on the front and the rear sight and the target all at the same time. It's one focus.
Perfect. Well, let's kind of wrap up with our product highlight here. What'd you bring along today?
I love this thing. This is a Champion shooting bag. I've got one of these. Mine's 15 years old. Mine came unfilled. I had to fill it with something. I actually put kitty litter in there. It does a nice job.
Nice.
Not too heavy. This bag is heavy enough to stand up on its own, not full of lead shot, so you have to have a dolly to carry it around with.
Right.
I don't know what that thing weighs. Probably 10 pounds.
Like solid enough?
It's got that beautiful channel for you can lie a gun in there. It's wide enough and long enough so that it will support the gun without having both a front and rear bag. You can supplement a rear bag on this if you want to for those real precision shots. But for most people's purposes, this is going to get the job done in place of a lead sled, in place of front and rear bags. It does a great job with long guns, but also for shooting handguns. You can lay your arm right in there. It's not the weight of the gun that you got to support; it's the trembling of your arm. So that's going to do a beautiful job.
Perfect.
It actually has a couple little pockets on the side, mesh pockets for putting whatever. I would probably keep a screwdriver in there for adjusting scopes and
perfect,
and some extra hearing protection.
Excellent.
These guys sell for $69.99, and if I'm going to have one bench assist, that's going to be it right there. I've got, like I said, an older version of this at home, and I've got all my other sandbags, all my other shooting rests. That's the one that goes up to the bench with me every time.
Perfect. Great idea. One of these last-minute gifts for that difficult individual. If they do like to shoot, this would be the perfect way to do it. Also, you can get some of these really cool TRS hats. Those are great stocking stuffers, last minute things as well. Well, we're going to close it out today by thanking the Real Shot for supporting this program. Thanks the production crew from Fix Productions for helping us get out there and talk to you guys. And on behalf of myself, Mark Druick, and Steve, the Gun Guy Gildenvan, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. If anything, go out there. This is a crazy time. People are running around trying to find that last minute gift. Be kind, be appreciative. And if you've been blessed, please go out and bless someone else. So on behalf of all of us here, Merry Christmas.